you build heroic tales, if you create nonfiction that wrecks some element of the status quo, if you imagine self-help or spiritual empowerment pieces that establish a higher order and create a larger stratification of how the world will work and work internally and externally, then you have to shape superpowers. Now, what's interesting about superpowers is those of us that are writers know that we have to be able to build them. So I imagine when I write, all of my tales are heroic tales. I craft and carefully build hero tales. That's what I do. And I write by some very strict formula that I created on my own after decades of study and toil and work, tips to build superpowers. Number one, it has to be an ordinary or an extraordinary person, and you have to move them to extraordinary. You have to pick something or someone or imagine something that is very ordinary, very commonplace for your hero. Someone that, just works in obscurity and no one really notices. Kind of a King David. King David is, of course, an heroic figure in the Bible. And, of course, he's out tending sheep as a young lad, and God taps him on his shoulder and picks him to be his chosen one. Malevolent. You have to shape evil. You have to twist and bend goodness. And you have to forge discontent and make it have galactic proportions. That's important. You've got to understand malevolence, and you've got to be able to create it. Personal. You have to make the rage against the present evil in your work and in that epic of time that you create, that capsule that you encapsulate. You have to make it personal. You have to see and comprehend that a big part of the reason that the superpower arrives and then finds resonance and is able to be channeled through your heroic character is that there's an internal rage and there's a fire that will not be quenched because it's personal. You have to be able to create that. Acquisition and learning period, if you will, an apprenticeship. And then a mentor and a pedagogue. You have to give, in my opinion, the young person that is coming of age, you have to give them a learner. You have to give them someone that is a core holder of lore for that period of time. They have to be a wisdom holder that is willing to drown the young arriving protege, if you will, with their wisdom. And so there has to be this kind of baton movement that takes place. I think it's really important for you as a writer to instill into that heroic character this idea that their powers are not to be trifled with, toyed with, and only used for good. So I think that this is a pretty good starting capsule. If you want to connect with us, go to stevebonenberger.com, stevebonenberger.com. Leave us a quick note. I'm Steve Bonenberger. This is Writers and Creatives. Travel far.